If you ever stepped into an arcade in the halcyon times of the 1990s, you would find yourself spoiled for choice when it came to side-scrolling beat-em-ups. From The Simpsons to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Alien vs. Predator, and so many more, it was a golden age for the genre, and there was one company that had a certain special sauce for making these games hit just right, and that was Capcom, and one of my personal favorites was The Punisher. Such a great fun love letter to everything Marvel Comics of the late 80s and early 90s, captured in beautiful, I would dare say, 16-bit graphics. Hard for me to say that because I'm not a big arcade game aficionado as far as the technicalities are concerned, but oh my goodness, this was great fun to play. So how happy was I to see Marvel Legends reveal their Punisher and Nick Fury Gamerverse 2-pack, an absolute tribute to the arcade game that I loved playing in the 90s, now realized in beautiful 1/12 scale plastic form. As soon as I saw these, I thought to myself, okay, that's awesome. How could I make an entire roster for this game? Well, it just so happens that Marvel Legends have us covered with pretty much everyone who appears in the game as far as main characters go. So now that we've got the Punisher and Nick Fury, we're going to go back and take a look at who else pops up and features in the Punisher arcade game. So first of all, we've got another new reveal from Marvel Legends, or at least a new release, Bushwhacker. And correctly enough, he was partnered with Punisher in a 2-pack. So when Bushwhacker popped up in the arcade game, that was my first exposure to the character, and for so many other characters who make their appearance in this arcade game. And he's such a weird, freaky, body horror type of character, someone able to morph his arms into fleshy Cronenberg-style guns. Really bizarre, really awesome, and amazing that we actually live in a time where we've got a brand new action figure of this relatively obscure character. And Marvel Legends absolutely smashed it with this guy, not being afraid to make him as gruesome and unsettling looking as possible, with his left arm morphing into this full-on flesh cannon bazooka, and possibly even creepier is the little digit on his right hand being the single pistol gun. So weird looking, but absolutely awesome to have an action figure of this, with the scarring going up the side of his face. Such a cool addition. The only problem being that, of course, being the Hasbro Marvel Legends business model that they have, if you want this guy, then you're going to have to get another Punisher as well. On top of the Punisher, you got to get, for the arcade look, this is why we drink Marvel Legends, but also that's the game we play. Then moving on to another big bad in the game, we've got ourselves Jigsaw. And Jigsaw, this was a gnarly one to come out a couple of years ago. And it's another example of why I do love Marvel Legends when they get it right, when they put the effort in and they really make a figure that's not necessarily a big A-list character. They've gone to a lot of effort to really bring comic book Jigsaw to life, and you can tell that was a labor of love. That was one for the comic fans. The amount of intricate detail on his face with the stitches, the scarring, the staples. He looks so gruesome with the one big round circular eye. So cool. Occasionally, you'll look at a Marvel Legend and think, ah, man, you guys just looked at like one picture and went, yeah, that'll do it. But in this case, it's kind of perfect. It does look like some very distinct artwork that you can place next to it. But man, that was some awesome artwork right there. Also, this figure came with so many accessories, weapons, instruments of violence. He's a real great addition to the gangster type shelf. Then going on from that, we've got another multi-pack one that you're going to have to, fish around for. It's Pretty Boy. And this is one, and the next one as well, which is kind of a surprising one for the Punisher, because we've got kind of a mutant sort of vibe going on now, because Punisher isn't necessarily related to the Reavers all that much, but Pretty Boy, his whole thing was that his body was destroyed and dismembered at the hands of Wolverine's adamantium claws, so that's who he has his biggest beef with. But hey, A villain's gonna villain, am I right? And that's as good a reason as any for the Punisher to take his war against crime to these cybernetically enhanced bad guys. So for Pretty Boy, you gotta get yourself the Strife. No, is it Strife? It's a 5-pack. I want to say it's the Strife 5-pack. It is, isn't it? Because it's Strife, it's Zero, the swirly lady. Gosh, I forget her name. Vertigo. That was the one. Vertigo. Then also there's Random, and finally we got Pretty Boy as well. So Pretty Boy, he pops up in the game. You can represent him on your shelf. And then also, speaking of the Reavers, we've got Bonebreaker. One of the best Build-A-Figures I feel that Marvel Legends have put out, just because he's so weird. I love it when they actually go all in on making a character bizarre and unusual and just so much fun. And that's what Bonebreaker is, man. He's brilliant. Tank treads for legs? Why the heck not? And the expressive, fun look on his face, he's having a blast. He's having a great time. Just like Pretty Boy, there's no real instant connective tissue between Bonebreaker and the Punisher, besides the fact that he's a bad guy and the Punisher kills bad guys. Well, that's good enough for me. So to get Bonebreaker, of course, he is a Build-A-Figure. So you'd have to go searching for the various pieces. But when you put them all together, so worth it. So worth it. Absolutely awesome. And then finally, for the bad guys that we have, you got the Kingpin himself, the big bad of the game, whose sprite in the game is ludicrously gigantic, huge, big monster of a man, but really, really cool. So Wilson Fisk, actually the slightly older Kingpin, suits this look better. It's the Kingpin Build-A-Figure. Again, another Build-A-Figure. Some of these guys, not easy to get your hands on, but he's wearing the more kind of realistic or contemporary, I suppose, suit with the white on the pants and the jacket, very much like you see in the game. So if you want a game-accurate Kingpin, that's the one to go for. However, if you can't find him, then the retro Kingpin, I mean, that is my favorite Kingpin because it's the brightly colored, more classic Kingpin with the purple pants, the cravat, the orange and the blues. So much more fun to look at. But if we're going for arcade accuracy, you want to go for the Build-A-Figure. And that does it for the existing villains that we have to build out this Punisher arcade display. But also one that comes up quite a lot in the game, you've got the guard droid robots. Those are really fun. There's nothing directly from Marvel Legends that is like this, but there's similar ones. Really, the Mandroid, which is pretty darn old now. But that Mandroid, the S.H.I.E.L.D. style one, actually looks kind of similar, but really it just looks like a generic kind of droid. But if you wanted to get a generic robot, that's a lucky thing. They aren't actually too hard to find. You can normally find like kids' toys robots that would actually fill the role of that kind of heavy-hitting goon quite easily. So you could always keep your eyes out at Toys R Us. You'll probably find something much cheaper than you would if Marvel Legends tried to make a comparison. And then finally, of course, you got the Punisher and Nick Fury. And I would have normally bought these characters. But the thing is, for my Punisher, I got the Mezco Punisher. I really love him. And I try not to have more than one version of a character, because otherwise that's when the collection gets a bit crazy. For Nick Fury, though, man, I do love what they've done with this Nick Fury, because his costume is just brighter and more interesting with the orange and the green, the camo sort of look, the straps and the pockets and the pouches. Really, really cool. But ultimately, I've got the S.H.I.E.L.D. 3-pack, Nick Fury. So I've got to have him in his iconic S.H.I.E.L.D. uniform. So I won't be building this set, but seeing these characters together, it is a lot of fun. And then if you want to, you could sort of expand the roster, because Hasbro have been doing a great job with their gangster villain type characters. Hammerhead is a huge one. If you wanted to just build out like your crooks and your thugs, Hammerhead would be a great addition. Someone who was conspicuous by their absence in that game was Bullseye. There's a couple of good Marvel Legends Bullseyes out there too. So you could have some real fun expanding on your Punisher Nick Fury arcade type display. But those are the absolute essentials. So gang, what do you think about the new Punisher and Nick Fury 2-pack? Are you going to pick it up? Are you going to build out the roster? Because you've got your work cut out for you if you do. But if you do, It will look pretty cool. So gang, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, keep displaying model behavior. Folks, this episode is sponsored by Legendsverse. Legendsverse being your one-stop shop for all of your action figure collecting, correlating, and cataloging needs. Doesn't matter what line you collect. Don't let the name fool you. It's not just Marvel Legends, it's pretty much everything. If you want to log your collection, see how much it's worth, how much you've spent on it, and also what you need to complete it, Legendsverse is the ultimate archive for literally decades of action figures. You can go way, way back into time and see everything that was released for various lines coming right up to the modern day. It's such a treasure trove. It's so much fun to go through. Legendsverse, check them out. Click the link in the description below. You get a sneaky little model behavior discount if you wanted to get a membership. But if you don't, you can just look at it all for free. So yeah, Legendsverse. Go check them out.
Big time.